Good evening everyone and welcome to a fresh episode of 2OT. Ako po si Carlo Pamentuan with Maguma John. This episode of 2OT is of course presented by Smart 5G, airing live sa YouTube page ng 2OT and the Facebook pages of Smart Sports and 2OT. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Our guest for today, of course, Coach CHOT Reyes of Gilas, Pilipinas men after the announcement nung 12 na maglalaro sa Southeast Asian Games. Good evening, Coach, and thank you for joining us for the first time here on 2OT.
Good evening, Carlo. Good evening, Magu. Thanks for having me. Oo nga, first time ko dito. Salamat naman at naimbitahan din ako rito.
Kaya nga, Carlo, na we are in the presence of greatness. Ikaw ba naligo? Buti na lang, nakaligo, nakapag-ahit tayo. Si Coach Chot niya, kailangan medyo maayos-ayos tayo sa gabing ito. Welcome, of course, to 2OT. Ang show natin, Coach, as we go along, we will be asking you yung live questions from our viewers right now. Pero first things first, Coach, welcome back to Gilas, Pilipinas. I know you had that short run some months ago, pero this time around, may konting preparation.
Yes, at least we had a few months, a couple of weeks, not a few months, a few weeks. Nakakapag-practice na kami for a couple of weeks. And we've got, 10 more days or before opening. Unfortunately, marami tayong mga obstacles na ikikwento as we go along. Pero anuin na natin sa tanong. Basta ang tanong nyo, kasama yung mga tanong ng mga haters. Dami na namang bumabatikos. I'm here to face all the questions and all of those criticisms.
Coach Chot, let's first look at the lineup, the final roster of 12 na sasabak para sa Pilipinas in the upcoming Southeast Asian Games for the Philippines to defend the gold medal. We start off with Kevin Gilas, Jun Mar Fajardo, Isaac Goyes there, Lebron Lopez, the youngest player in the lineup, Kib Montalvo, William Navarro, Roger Pogoy, Kiefer Ravena, Thirdy Ravena, Troy Rosario, Mawala Tautua, and Matthew Wright. Coach, it's a balance of, you have youngsters there, you also have veterans there, MVP and Jun Mar Fajardo. But I know it was quite challenging for you to form a squad dahil, first of all, injuries are there. Availability has always been an issue. So, in terms of, from the lineup of 16 that you had, I think ito lang talaga yung uubra na 12, Coach. Ito lang yata yung pwede talaga na maglaro para sa atin in the Southeast Asian Games.
Yes, because buti nga nakahabol pa si Kiefer because remember in the original 16, wala naman si Kiefer. But you're right. Ang daming nangyari from the 16 that we put together. First of all, I'd like to thank the PBA for all their assistance. They've been really very supportive to us, helping put this lineup together. Siyempre kay Commissioner Willie, the PBA board as well. But where do you want to start? Sa dami mga nangyari, all of the twists and turns that led us to this final 12.
First and foremost, yung isa sa pinakainahanap yata, Coach Chot, is Japet Aguilar. But I think almost everybody, unless you live under a rock, you should know na injured si Japet Aguilar, di ba, Coach?
Yes, injured siya. To Japet's credit, sumipot pa rin siya sa practice the past couple of days and he was really trying pero talagang pang half court lang siya, hindi full contact. Ayaw namin, it's difficult, di ba? Galing ka sa finals. His injury is not yet 100%. We really didn't want to risk it. But hats off, Japet still came in to lend his presence, his encouragement sa players. He's still there in practice. He just likes the atmosphere. Alam mo yung kantsawan, yung biruan, so on and so forth. Same thing with Poy Eram as well. Who's not going to make the final 12 because he just has some things that he has to take care of, some family matters that prevent him from leaving. So, but they are both there in practice and like I said, they're helping keep the spirits up.
Speaking of practice, Coach, meron ding may kanya-kanyang issue, may kanya-kanyang obligations sa ibang lugar na hindi rin maka-attend regularly. Robert Bolick, a lot of people asking about him. You would be the best resource for this, Coach.
Yeah, when we started, hindi pa kami nakakaisang linggo nun I think nakaka 3 days pa lang kami. Robert had to leave suddenly, an emergency. His father was going to undergo 3 surgeries, one after the other, back to back to back. and he felt that he took a turn for the worse. I think we let's all pray for the father of Robert, because Robert felt that he had to be there already sa Texas with his father. So yon, right away, we had that first obstacle, scratch Robert Bollick's name from the list. Buti na lang, we had a spare point guard, si Kib Montalvo at si Roger Pugoy. Talagang ang pinakiusap ko lang sila to come in as backups, kasi we knew that there were players who were not going to be available yet. Si Thirdy, si Dwight, they're still in Japan. Si Matthew Wright, ikakasal, so was in Canada. So sabi ko, pampuno sa practice so that we had enough bodies in practice. Sabi niya, sure, no problem. Pero sabi ko, backup lang kayo. There's a very remote possibility that you'll make the final. Sabi nila, coach, wala problema. Sure enough, Robert Bollick had to leave. And so fortunately, we had a spare point guard in Kib Montalvo. And then, we also wanted, sabi ko naman, even if we didn't have that third point guard, we were planning on Dwight Ramos as a third point guard. In our system, Dwight is a very capable point guard. However, yung kontrata niya sa Japan, tapos na yung games sa May 8. Ang plano, May 8, after May 8, May 9 or 10, nandito na sila. But then he has some other obligations sa team niya sa Japan that is in his contract that he couldn't get out of. So, yun ang next problem namin. So that the other point guard that we were thinking of, si Dwight Ramos, also could not make the lineup, the team. So buti na lang that we had that extra point guard nga in Kib Montalvo. That's why he ended up making that squad. And then everybody knows what happened to Japet. So there, right, one after the other, we lost Robert, we lost Dwight, we lost Japet. And then the schedule of the FIBA Under-17 comes out. And it's going to be held on June 12. So si Calum Harris, who we were also thinking of including in this lineup, he's the main guy of the Under-17 team.
Yeah.
Hindi siya pwede, masyado siyang matagal mawawala sa practice. Diba? Kung sumama siya sa amin, we're leaving on May 13. We will be back May 20. He'll be gone for 10, 11 days from practice. It's really going to be a masyadong malaking dagok sa preparation for the FIBA Under-17. So that's another one that was we decided to not include him in that's the reason why Calum Harris is not in the final 12. But we're still looking at Calum to be in the men's team maybe for the next window ng FIBA Asia or the FIBA Asia Cup. But we want him to focus first on having the best representation for our Under-17 lineup for the FIBA Asia. Kasi yung Under-17 FIBA Asia yon, if you end up in the top 4, that's the qualifier for the Under-17 Worlds.
Yeah.
Which will happen in July. So sunod-sunod yun eh.
Yeah.
So medyo mahirap yung schedule. That's why we figured for Calum it was best na hindi na lang siya isama sa SEA Games so he can focus on the Under-17. So those are the reasons why ito yung lineup. This is the lineup that we have come up with.
Carlo, tinapos ka agad ni Coach Chot yung episode.
Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for joining on the OT.
Pasensya na, dugtong-dugtong kasi. Domino effect kasi, di ba? Yung pagkawala nung yung ating point guard rotation na nawala talaga when Robert and Dwight couldn't make it. Talagang wow, na ano talaga.
Nagkagulo-gulo talaga. Pero Coach Chot, Carlo, ngayong napaliwanag na ni Coach Chot kung bakit wala yung mga hinahanap na mga ilang netizens natin. I think we should celebrate the fact na meron kang yang nandiyan si Pogoy, nandiyan si Montalvo, nakikiensayo kahit na hindi masasama sa lineup. Tapos yung Japet, yung JP Eran umaattend. Is this the spirit of the Big Bow Belga 13th month of Gilas Pilipinas alive, Coach?
Yeah, sinabi mo, yun talaga. We're trying to really rekindle that spirit. Talagang with people wanting to just be there, be around, and that's something that we're continuing to build. Hopefully, that's part of the process, di ba? Yung samahan, yung brotherhood talaga.
Again, going back to the point that we made earlier, no, Magu, in one of our earlier episodes, maraming PBA fans yung maghahanap sa mga paborito nilang players. It's natural. Yeah? You were cheering for SMB or whatever team or Barangay Ginebra or you cheered for Alaska before. You will want to see representation. You will want to see the players na iniidolo mo that you're cheering for. But wala sila dito. But I think it's too negative right now in the sense, Coach, na laging yung sisi is with you, with the coach of the national team. And we have to, balance it out by saying na baka naman kinausap yung player na yon na nasa isip nyo, baka sila yung hindi pwede. So let's just, assume the best from everyone, from the players to the coaches, and this is the team that is going to be available.
Yes, kasi there were definitely a lot of players, but syempre yung mga nasa finals, ayaw na natin guluhin yun because we started practice ongoing pa yung finals eh. So, syempre, ayaw naman nating abalahin yung mga naglalaro sa finals. They deserve their rest as well. So, I know there's a lot of clamor for other players, but tama ka. Plus, there are other players who are also there in that list, like talking about the point guards in the point guard pool kasi yung long list namin, nandun si Matt Nieto, but he's still injured as well.
Yeah.
Nag-therapy pa si Matt Nieto. And then the other point guards in the list, SJ Belanghel and si Abarientos, kakatapos lang ng UAP nung laban nung FU yesterday. So nung kailangan na namin mag-submit ng final 12 last Saturday, hindi pa tapos yung UAP. The UAP was still ongoing and the NCAA. So we really couldn't include the collegiate stars as much as we wanted. If you can see the lineup, diba, it's a combination of veterans and young ones. Kasi we want to win the SEA Games, but also we want to make sure that there's a view towards development. So the long-term process, we wanted to have a lot of under 25 players. So that's Isaac Goff, Lebron Lopez, Kib Montalvo, Will Navarro. Those are the guys that are and syempre yung mga nasa pool talaga like sila Ferdy Ravena. So we wanted to make sure that there's a developmental piece to this team as well.
Ang kagandahan lang talaga, Coach, napakarami talagang magaling mag-basketball. Not just dun sa veterans or dun sa PBA side, even the young guns coming up. Good problem yan for you, Coach, na ang daming pagpipilian.
Yes, I think you will also like the plans for the next window, yung third window ng World Cup qualifiers and the FIBA Asia Cup. Kasi doon, available na yung collegiate players. So now we're going to see...
Pupunta kayo New Zealand dyan, no, Coach?
Yeah, we will see the Carl Tamayo. Hopefully,
yan.
Kung walang problema, the Carl Tamayos, Justin Baltasar, sila Dave Ildefonso, SJ Belang, those are the people that we are planning to be in that next iteration of this lineup together with Calum Harris and Francis Lopez. So yun ang mga inaano talaga natin. So we're continuously building kasi I'm also the program director, so we're always looking, kaya pati yung under 16, di ba? I went to the US to conduct the tryouts. I think we have 5 or 6 of them now here trying out for a slot in the under 17 team.
Wow.
We have about 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, 6, 5 and above wingmen, guard and wingmen in that lineup. So yun ang binubuo natin. We're really continuously building that program. So hopefully maintindihan lang ng ating mga kababayan yung proseso.
Coach Shot, Jun Mar, a multiple-time MVP competing in the Southeast Asian Games. Something that he has done before. But I just want to go back to a game that you had in Australia, no? When you flew there in Melbourne. May isang batang player na hindi na natin papangalanan. Na-late siya dun sa call time ng bus. Di ba, coach? Naalala mo to eh. Na-late siya dun sa bus, naiwanan siya, kinailangan niya mag-taxi. Pagpasok ng player, tinanong isa-isa ni Coach Jot yung mga players na nandun. Sabi niya, ikaw, Jun Mar. I think, ano siya nun, 4-time MVP, multiple-time champion. Ilang beses ka na nalilate sa practice? Sabi ni Jun Mar, never, coach. And then, syempre, to point out na na-late yung mas batang player, just how much does Jun Mar Fajardo bring to the table? Not just in terms of what he can do on the floor, but, you know, for him to be here in the squad. I mean, it's the Southeast Asian Games. Alam naman natin na paborito lagi yung Pilipinas, but you have one of the best ever to play in the PBA being in the squad. Gaano kalaking bagay yun, coach? Just the buy-in.
Mabuti sinabi mo yan, Carlo, because we actually asked him again in one of our meetings. Because of course, we have young players in the team, right? So in one of our post-game huddles, I asked Jun Mar, why are you here? Bakit sa dinami-dami na ng mga achievements mo, bakit nandito ka pa rin? Ba't ka nagtsatsaga, di ba? Nagta-twice. And he was going twice a day kasi nagpa-practice ng umaga yung San Miguel and then gabi kami, 7 p.m. So, Talk and Text, San Miguel, NLEX players, si George Goff, Isaac Goff from Terra Firma, they were all going 2 a days. And so tinanong ko kay Jun Mar yun, so ba't mo pa ito ginagawa? Sabi ni Jun Mar, very straightforward. Hindi naman araw-araw, hindi naman lahat ng tao nagkakaroon ng opportunity na ma-represent yung bansa nila, sabi niya. So, and we never take this for granted. So ako, basta pwede ako, kung kaya ko, and kinailangan niyo ako, coach, I will always be here, sabi niya. So he said that straight, and it was, I thought it left a great impression on the young ones. Si Calum Harris was there, Francis Lopez, sila Will Navarro, sila J.D. Tungkap, they were all there, the young ones, because you know, kailangan matutunan nila yun sa mga veterano, di ba? Hindi lang yung basketball, but the other skills, the leadership, how to become a good teammate. I think that's very, very important.
I guess, Coach, from our perspective, from the fans' perspective, ganun, may pagkaganon din because we feel a sense of ownership din. Kasi ang Gilas Pilipinas para sa lahat eh. I know there are some people na below the belt kung makapagsalita, kala mo kung sino, pero mostly yung pagmamahal lang para sa Philippine basketball. Yun yung nararamdaman mo rin yun from the supporters. Sabi mo ng haters and supporters alike, Coach?
Actually, ilang beses ko na yan talagang minsan maski na gaano kakapal na yung mukha ko from all of that, di ba? Pero minsan, siyempre tao tayo, dinaramdam din natin, nasasakit kasi ng mga ibang salita. Pero pag tinignan mo naman, ang dami namang still overwhelming pa rin yung messages of support and encouragement. So tama ka, yun na lang iniisip ko, number one, it's just coming out of a place of passion and real love. And number two, pag tinignan mo naman yung mga, alam mo, yung mga talagang nagsasalita ng trolls di ba? Pag tinignan mo, wala namang follower, wala namang ibang message.
Hindi walang picture nga minsan.
Wala namang picture, so di na natin papansinin yun. Actually, ikaw, pakita mo yung mukha mo kung sino ka talaga, and you give a critical remark, very negative feedback, sasagutin kita. As long as you do it in a very respectable manner, respectful manner, I will answer. We have nothing to hide. Wala mo kami tinatago dito
Mas masarap nga, Coach, na may pake yung karamihan no? May pake kami, may pake tayong lahat dito sa basketball team na hinehead mo ngayon, Coach. Dahil ito nga yung mahal natin. This is our sport. This is our religion, right?
Correct. So, we love the passion and yun lang, just sana intindihin nila that we're really doing our job. Kasi tandaan nyo, hindi lang ako nandito. We also have Jong Wichiko. We also have Nenad Vucinic. Nagtitinik na coaches ito in making those decisions. And hindi lang yon. When I put those players together, I called the Governor Al Francis Chua. I called Coach Tim Cone. I called a lot of coaches, Commissioner Willie Marshall. Siyempre, kumukonsulta tayo sa maraming tao. Kasi we don't think, ako personally, I don't think na hindi ko naman inaako lahat ito that I make all the right decisions. So we really get a lot of feedback from a lot of different parties, from different people. Kasi ganun talaga dapat di ba? Kailangan all-inclusive yung approach natin. Kaya lang, we will listen to everyone but we cannot follow everyone's wishes, di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi in the end, we only have 12 slots.
Coach Shot, as always, no, being part of the national team entails sacrifices from the coaches, from the players, from the families of the everyone involved as well. We all know that Kevin Alas is going through something very difficult in his personal life. No, yun nga, nag-announce naman sila that his wife Selena is undergoing treatment right now for cancer. Just how is he right now? Kumusta po yung pakiramdam niya? And then why was he still willing to really push this on? Because I know you would have completely understood if he said, Coach, sorry, pero pass na muna siguro ako. Pero pinilit niya pa rin, no? He still showed up and he will still compete.
It was a touch and go decision up to the last minute. As in, 5 p.m. of Saturday, kailangan na natin ibigay. Okay naman all the time kasi yung parang gumaganda naman yung treatment ni Selena. However, they had a checkup right that day, Saturday after our morning practice. So sabi ni Kevin, okay, mag-usap tayo, coach, before you are to give that final lineup. And initially, it was already a no because while Selena's numbers or markers were improving, it was still, she still had to go extra treatment and ayaw siya iwan ni Kevin, which is very understandable.
Yeah.
So, okay, we said we were already going to make a change and then at the last minute, sinabi niya, Coach, ayaw pumayag ni Selena. I mean, Selena wouldn't allow Kevin to beg off. And ako, I know for a fact that this is really Kevin's dream. This is really his dream. Pangarap niya talaga to. So, that's the reason why he's in the final 12. Now, and this is really, I hope everybody understands, it is not yet done deal because kumbaga sa it's a day-to-day decision because the situation is very fluid. We please, let's all give all of our prayers to Selena. Inaanak ko yung dalawa sa kasal, it's Kevin at si Selena. So there is a very big possibility. Kevin is in the final 12, so he's in the list, the final 12. There is a big possibility he doesn't make it with us. So there's a very big possibility we go and play with 11 unless we are able to get the there is a way to seek exemption for humanitarian reasons or for medical reasons to make a change even if you've submitted your 12. So hopefully we're able to do that. But right now, we all have our fingers crossed and prayers. So that's why sinasabi ko, hindi alam ng mga tao yung hirap, the difficulties that we're. So even at the last minute, we were scrounging around for another point guard who could have been available. But sila Matt Nieto nga is still injured. The other guys are still playing. So we submitted a list of 28 names. Buti na lang ang dami naming sinabit na list. But that's why we had to. We are really fortunate that Kiefer. Syempre, hindi mag-atubili talaga yun si Kiefer. Sabi niya, sure, whatever role, kung but everybody knows his last game is May 8, sila ni 30.
Yeah.
They will arrive here May 10, and then we're leaving May 13. The good thing is they've both played with me already. They know how we like to run things. 30 has played with this group already. Kiefer and they're in shape kasi laro sila ng laro sa dyan. They're in game shape. Importante yon. So hopefully yun ang mga, those are the decisions that people don't understand that we have to make, the very tough decisions kasi ganun talaga di ba? We have to be very agile and we have to be very flexible.
If we can see the lineup again, Guaps, I love the fact, Coach, ako naman ito, I've been saying this for as long as I can remember, and to whoever's willing to listen, Matthew Wright and R.R. Pugoy, two of the deadliest shooters we have in the Philippines, I truly believe, nandiyan dyan sa lineup mo. What kind of game are we looking at? Kasi when you look at it, tatatlo yung legit big mo. You have Jun Mar, of course, you have Isaac Go, and you have Mo Tautua, and maybe even Troy Rosario. But are we looking at a quick pace type of ball game for you guys?
Yes, we really wanted to build a team that had size, but also quickness, because that's always been our advantage, right? So we know that in Southeast Asia, medyo angat tayo sa size. Although now, more and more, that's been dwindling, especially Indonesia with that 6'11" naturalized.
Pinalitan si Prosper, di ba?
Si
Mukhang mas
Prosper,
malakas pa to.
which we had already known beforehand pa, si Marcus Bolden was coming in. So, and unfortunately, si Ange Kwame, our other naturalized player, is still playing, di ba? So buti na lang si Mo Tautua is there, no? But yeah, we want to form a team that has size but has also a lot of quickness. And the team that we envisioned also very important, has very good outside shooting. Kaya ang bigat ng pagkawalan ni Dwight Ramos at ni Bolick sa atin.
Yeah.
That's a real blow to our ability to shoot from the outside. Now, ang dami nagsasabi, and pasensya na kayo, let's just grab the bull by the horns. Favoritism, puro talk and text daw mga kinuha ko. Ba't daw si Montalvo at si Pogoy? Bakit mga hindi ibang player? Kasi, nung kinakausap ko yung mga PBA players, syempre pag kinausap mo yung PBA player, kakausapin mo na may slot na siya. Alam nga naman sabihin ko kay Japet, okay ka ba magano pero magta-try out ka? Di naman pwede yun, di ba? Di ba? So when I go to Matthew, right, I say, Matthew, are you willing to play? You have a slot. Then they will say yes.
Yeah.
Except yung mga players ng talk and text,
PNT,
payag sila sa ganun eh. Napayag sila, punta ka nasa pool ka pero hindi sure ha. Yung iba kasi, di ba, hindi naman natin pwedeng sabihin na ganun eh. And even in our discussions with the PBA commissioner, sinabi yun ang request ni Com Willie, yung mga PBA players, yung mga inimbita mo, talagang nasa team na yan. Yeah. And I said, yeah, for sure. So yung mga yun, linapitan ko yan, talagang team na yan. Team na talaga dapat si Bolick, nasa lineup, talaga nasa team si Japet and all that, except circumstances prevent it from happening. And now the same thing that we're undergoing with Kevin Alas. But that's the reason why nandun yung mga, it's not favoritism, it's just that sila yung pumayag na na pumunta sa practice na walang guaranteed slot. So that's why things played out that way.
Siyempre, coach, yung tatanungin mo, yung hindi pwedeng tumanggi sa'yo, di ba? No, if you could just flash the lineup again, no? If you take a look at it, papasok mo dyan, kung papasok mo si kung papasok mo si Dwight Ramos and papasok mo si Robert Bolick, as you said, they were shoe-in, so you take out R.R. Pogoy and you take out Kib Montalvo, the only TNT player left there is Toy Rosario.
Yes.
How can you say that it's favored upon TNT players when originally the plan was to have a single player from TNT in the unit?
Yes, exactly. We even chose other guys over Poy Eram, who is also a TNT player, because Poy was willing to just stay behind. So, yun nga. So I just, wanted to explain that na bansa ito, lang naman magkaka-favoritism pa tayo, bayan itong pinag-uusapan natin, di ba?
Coach, etong yung isa pang bata dito, no, Lebron Lopez, we've seen him be in the conversation, we've seen him be in multiple pools before, and sometimes cracking a lineup. Will we see him get responsibility this time around?
I have to say that Francis, ayaw niya magpatawag na Lebron, gusto niya Francis. Francis has been practicing really well lately. And again, there were a lot of people who were saying, ba't di siya ginamit kasi dun sa last window? Because siya yung huling-huling nakasama sa practice. Parang dalawang practice. Naka-quarters na kami sa hotel nung dumating si Francis for practice. So hindi na talaga siya. It was going to be unfair to the others and even to him na bigla siyang palaruin. Pero ngayon, nakaka-ensayo siya. Alam niya yung mga ginagawa namin. He knows the system. He's getting comfortable with our offense, defensive schemes. I'm really looking forward to Francis being a big part of our being a rotation player. That's really what I'm looking at.
Magkakaroon ng pagkakataong magpakilala na talaga to si Lopez, Coach.
Yes, hopefully. So yun ang ano talaga natin, and it's time, di ba? We really need to get the younger guys, the 19, 20-year-old guys. isabak na ng maaga to really prepare them for national team duty.
Coach William Navarro, one of the guys from the Gilas Pilipinas special draft. Siya yung prototypical in terms of height, pwede ng PBA 4, but in the international game, it would really help us out, the national team, if he is a small forward. Ganon din ba yung plans for him moving forward?
Yes, if you will look at the lineup, the only real wingman that we have, na tres, kumbaga, is 30.
Yeah.
And that's why the two people backing him up there are the kids, si Francis and Will. But what we like about Will is his ability to switch between three, and if we want to go a little bit quicker, or if we're playing a little bit smaller teams, he can play 4. Kaya nga we only have, if you take a look at the lineup, we only have 4 big men because yung 5th big namin is Will. We're looking at Will as the 5th big as a backup emergency situation. So hopefully that's going to be enough. Remember, that could have been Japet Aguilar also in that lineup. Yeah. So that's just the way things are. So we're really looking forward to hopefully those guys making real contributions. But to be very honest, Francis and Will have been practicing very, very well.
May mga nagtatanong lang, Maguno. I think some of them were late in joining the discussion. So Calum Harris will be focusing on the Gilas Pilipinas youth for their upcoming tournament. Dwight Ramos has things to work on with his Japanese B-League team. Japet Aguilar is still recovering from his calf injury, and Robert Bolick had to fly to the States to attend to family matters. Yun po yung mga reasons why you won't be seeing those 4 players specifically for the upcoming Southeast Asian Games. Yes, Mago.
Speaking of mga nagtatanong, Carlo, eto na. So, umpisa na natin. Coach Chot, sabi ni Franklin Evan Francisco, hindi ba kayo nababahala sa Team Indonesia?
Bahalang-bahala ako sa Team Indonesia. We are really worried because we know the caliber of Marquise Bolden, and we know the kind of player he is. He's an NBA player. He's tall, he's quick, he's a shot blocker, and we already know how the big strides that Team Indonesia has been taking lately. And then they have that other kid, yung 6'8" nila, yung mahirap i-pronounce yung pangalan, si Exquiviera ba pangalan? He's a 19-year-old, 6'8" guy, a member, a product of the NBA Global Academy as well. So Indonesia will be very, very tough. Vietnam has 4 Vietnams in their lineup. Yeah. So Vietnam will be very, very tough. And we know Thailand has always been a tough opponent. So we do not really look at this as a walk in the park at all.
Ang maganda lang doon sa Vietnam, mas madali na siguro sabihin pangalan nila ngayon. May 4 na. Si Ner Lobo, sinasabi, Coach, excited na sila mapanood si Francis Lopez. More playing time, please, Coach. Sinabi ni Coach, abangan lang. Abangan natin pagsimula na itong Southeast Asian Games. Carlo, meron dyan sa'yo?
Yung excitement kasi, Magu, kay Francis Lopez is dahil madaling i-IG story di ba? Pag nakita mo siyang lumilipad, gusto mo dadaktakan niya lahat. But I mean, he's a very young player, and as much as you want to see the highlights, yes, diba? Siyempre, marami pang trabahong kailangan gawin to really, learn the system, be a pro, kumbaga, get reps with this squad, and hopefully we get to see some highlights sprinkled into the minutes na lalaroin niya, Coach.
Correct. This is a very different level of competition, diba? So we want him to understand first how to be able to play with these players and against this kind of opponent. Kasi the way he used to dominate his age group before, ibang usapan dito sa labanan na to. So, but like I said, he's been practicing well, so we're really looking at big things from him.
May mga nagtatanong, Magu, kay Soto, of course, we know that he announced for the upcoming NBA draft. Mahirap naman po siguro na kunan pa ng oras si Kai from his preparations towards that goal for the Southeast Asian Games.
He's now back in the US doing his pre-draft training. So, bago
nanood lang nung Ateneo UP,
yes,
malis na ulit.
The very next day, lumipad na yun.
Tapos talo yung pinanood niya. So okay na siguro yung Ateneo. No?
Lasma. Lasma pala. Si Michael Brandy Bermudez is asking, Coach, is there any future plans to have another naturalized player bukod kay Ange? And if ever meron, sino po ang prospect ng Gilas? Thank you so much, Coach Chot.
I think if we are doing our jobs, we should consistently be looking. Kasi just the nature of things to find out how much more we can improve. But we had a couple of guys. We had somebody fly in last week, take a quick look-see. But, we cannot divulge the names for now. But yeah, we continue looking. But we're very pleased with what we have with Ange. But still, like I said, we're not doing our jobs if we also don't look for can we even upgrade and improve on that level. Or sa akin kasi naghanap ako ng isa pang malaki para lang may katapat si Ange araw-araw sa ensayo.
Para kahit sa ensayo lang.
Yes, sa ensayo man lang meron siya palagi because sila Jun Mar will not always be there. 'Di ba? Sila Jun Mar, sila Japet will not always be there. So he has to have somebody that matched up against who is bigger, if pwede, bigger and stronger than he is.
Parang sparring partner, kumbaga. Coach.
Yes, kasi that's only going to make him better.
Kasi nung World Cup and Asian Games combo, at least you had doubted going up against Blatch.
Yes, right? Yes. We always had that, right? So that was very important.
Coach, merong ilang nagtatanong din, especially I guess because of the much improved shooting ngayon neto ni Scottie Thompson. Is there a chance daw na maimbitahan pa ulit si Scottie Thompson sa Gilas program? I think he's
in the
overseas
pool
right now. But...
Yeah, Scottie is in the pool, is in our list. And I think the earliest baka Asian Games. If we're looking
September,
at the plans na magiging available ulit yung mga PBA players for Gilas, we're looking forward to the Asian Games. I'm very, very excited. Hindi lang yung improved shooting, but we also saw how well Scottie handled the point guard chores.
Yeah.
Diba? In the last. So can you imagine if we can have a person with that size, athleticism, and rebounding ability playing the point, diba? So that's why we are very excited to have a chance to have a crack at Scottie being part of this squad.
Coach, binanggit mo na yung Asian Games. Ako doon ako pinaka-excited somewhat kasi walang Australia, walang New Zealand doon. We can actually win Asia there. Talagang mas malinaw, di ba, na makuha natin yon.
Yes, and again, credit to the PBA. They've already cleared the schedule to make sure that we have all the PBA players will be available come Asian Games time. Yeah. Kasi ang mangyayari na naman pag Asian Games, mag-uumpisa na naman yata yung next UAP season, di ba? So hindi na naman sila pwede. So all of these things nakaplano na yan. We already have the plans broken down per month all the way to August 2023. So we already have we already have mock lineups and all that. People that we're looking at sa Asian Games, ito sa FIBA Asia, malamang ito yung lineup. Sa Asian Games, ito. Sa Window 5, ito. Sa ganito, SEA Games next year, ganito. So, we've already sat down, gone through that process. And yun lang nga, pag may nangyayaring ganito, biglang nagkaka-family problems, issues, injuries. But also, that's why the plan has those fail-safe measures built into that.
Coach, sorry, Magu. We know na yung FIBA has very different eligibility rules from the Southeast Asian Games and the Asian Games. In the last SEA Games team that we had Chris Ross, we have Stanley Pringle, Christian Stan Hardinger was also there.
All as locals.
All as locals, yeah. Pero yung napansin natin sa SEA Games, Coach, it's only Mo Tautua who is there na hindi papasa as a local dun sa FIBA standards. Nag-iba ba yung rules as with the host kaya nangyari to?
Yes,
related to that, naghahanap yung tao ng Mikey Williams.
Sinabihan kami na FIBA rules ito. Isa lang ang naturalized.
Oh, okay. Okay. So decision ng host.
Yeah.
Decision ng host.
It depends on the host. Depende sa host yan. So that's the reason why Well, kung pwede mo, di sana nandyan sila Mikey and all that, di ba?
Yun nga, I guess that answers the question from EJ Marquez sa YouTube naman. Sabi nga niya, is Mikey Williams not eligible to play as a local sa SEA Games? Answer is, hindi nga po eligible.
No.
Kailan,
Kailan,
other question?
sabi ni Jay-Z, kailan magsa-start ang training ng Gilas for the next FIBA window? I guess yung SEA Games muna pagkwentuhan natin o baka hindi, nakaplano na si Coach dito, sigurado.
Yeah, meron ng schedule yan eh. I think when we arrive from Vietnam, there's a 1-week break and then we start June 1 or June 2 for the next window. Yeah, so ito na yung mga UAP players. Ito na yung parang Gilas select pool or Gilas candidates pool. Yeah.
So Coach, are you seeing, some of the younger talents in the UAAP right now na teka pwede nating tignan? Kasi aside from the guys like Justin Baltasar and Carl Tamayo, may biglang Xavier Lucero na nagpapapansin, 'di ba? Parang there are so many great talents. Evan Nelly is playing very well. Can you share with us some of the players who have got your attention?
We really took a look at Michael Phillips. Kaya lang mukhang ineligible because he didn't get his passport before 16. We're checking Xavier Lucero. Parang ganung situation din yata. We're very interested to take a look at Concepcion of UST. Concepcion of UST. We want to look at Abando of the NCAA. So yeah, I watch every game, so we're taking a good hard look at a lot of other people.
Coach, I know you were first time you coached was back in 2007. Pero this program in many iterations 2012. Yung Jones Cup nyo all the way to 13 tas nag-qualify sa 14 and then everything else that happened in between. Kamusta yung lagay mo ngayon yung satisfaction or how do you rate the program as of today just before the SEA Games?
It's still in its infancy because I've been here a couple of months pa lang and we really didn't have the time to really sit down and craft it from way back pa, di ba? Meron nga tayong 23 for 23 nung a few years ago, di ba? So medyo we're kind of behind the 8 ball now, but with the help of the SBP, with all of the stakeholders, the PBA, and everybody else, we're starting to put that program together. In the last PBA planning session, Deputy Executive Director Butch Antonio had presented the entire plan already to the PBA. So alam na rin nila ng PBA board yung month by month natin, as in it's broken down month by month for the men, for the under 16, under 18, and even for the women. We're also monitoring it.
Defending gold medalist tayo sa women's, di ba?
Yes, with Coach Pat Aquino. So we're doing the same thing, di ba? Coach Pat Aquino has always been going to the US and he has a pool of players training, and then pag malapit na, lilipad na lang sila dito to join the other locals here. So that's the program that's continuously coming together now. So sa ating mga kababayan, maraming nangyayari. There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes. We just prefer to be very low-key about it, to keep a low profile about it, because we feel that's the best way to do it. And then hopefully when you see the lineups of the under 16 or the women's team or the under 17 women's team as well, then hopefully you will start to see the fruits of all the efforts that are being done behind the scenes.
Hindi, kulang pa, Coach. May 3x3 pa pala.
Oo nga, may 3x3
Ang daming
pa
ginagawa ng
tayo.
SVP, di ba?
Yep, may 3x3 pa tayo, and may 3x3 women's din tayo. So, so all of these are being put together now. So that's the main difference dun sa, yun ang sagot ko sa tanong mo. That's the main difference, Mabu, because talagang now we're taking care of the whole, the whole shebang. But ang maganda ngayon is napakaganda ng support at tulungan ng SBP, ng PBA, and all the other stakeholders. And even the collegiate leagues naman, they're also willing to help. Kaya lang sila rin nagka-problema, di ba? Kasi kagaya ng UAP, tournament nga ikapagkakasya
In
nila
1 year,
this year,
yeah.
di ba? So we understand their problems naman as well.
Coach Shot, natakot ako nung nag-bring up si Magunang 2012 kasi kala ko papa-invite niya si LA Tenorio ulit eh.
Aba, ready yun.
Oo nga.
Nag-usap kami palagi noon. Sabi niya, coach, alam mo naman. Tawag mo lang, ready yun.
Gusto ko si Iron Man, hindi pa rin nasosobrahan sa laro eh, no? Kulang na kulang pa rin.
699 straight PBA games, ilang tour of duty sa Gilas. Pero ready pa rin, Coach?
Ready rin palagi yan.
Coach Shot, may mga nagtatanong.
Ready naman palagi yan. Sila Gabe, si LA, they're all just there. They're just ready.
Si Pingris yata, Coach, gusto umisa eh.
Kung pwede lang. Yeah.
Coach Shot, there are questions about, the possibilities of Remy Martin, of Jordan Clarkson for the upcoming Asian Games. Is it something that you're, even remotely considering at this stage?
Right now, the SBP is really trying to find a way and push for their eligibility. On our end, for planning purposes, the best we can do is plan for example, for a Jordan Clarkson to be the naturalized player. That's the best I could do. So if he is the naturalized player, I have two options. I have two scenarios. One scenario is with Ange Kwame and Jordan as a local. Or one scenario is what if we have to make a decision between Ange Kwame or Jordan Clarkson. So we have those scenarios plotted out. What is going to be the final decision? We will know when we get there. Who's playing well? What's the situation? Who are the other members of the team? What is the team composition, right? So to let everyone know that all of those scenarios are all plotted out, and yun lang, we're the SBP is doing all efforts to try and find out how we can make that happen.
So, ang coach, bukod dun sa availability, of course, for 2023, no? Lumalampas na tayo sa SEA Games topic. Sorry, coach. Pero isa ka lang namin makakwentuhan eh.
Sinusulit na namin, coach.
Sinusulit, pipigain na natin, coach.
Okay lang ba pag kung uminom ako dito?
Oo naman, coach.
Yun, no? Padala ka rin. Ay. Ang daming tournament na sasalihan ng Gilas through this next 12 months or so. It will all still have a bearing kung sino yung mga magiging kasama sa final lineup mo for 2023, no, coach? And
Yes.
and you plan on parading different lineups. Meron kang mga college lineup pag available na sila, meron kang PBA lineup pagka hindi na naman ulit available, di ba? Ganon, coach?
Correct. So that's the reason, because in the end we want to have the best representation for 2023. And sabi ko nga, hopefully by the time 2023 comes around, we get at least 3 months na solid preparation just for the World Cup.
I remember your preparations when you prepared for 2014. Ganong klase kailangan talaga, coach, you know?
Yeah, ganun talaga. So if we do our jobs well, then hopefully. But right now, like you said, we're focused in SEA Games. I don't want to look past our Southeast Asian neighbors, because we know they're working hard. We know Indonesia, they went into a very serious basketball camp. They had several different foreign coaches there. So, it's not going to be a walk in the park. So
hindi na pa 40-40, mga 15 na lang, ganun, coach.
So yung mga nagsasabing overkill, I don't really understand it kasi pagka natison tayo dito, patay talaga. As in, we're never gonna hear the end of it, right?
Yeah, walang makakalimot, coach, sa mga teams ng Pilipinas na hindi nag-gold medal.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that is the case. They do not forget about the losses in the Southeast Asian Games.
It doesn't matter what the reasons are, what's happening behind the scenes, di ba? In the end,
the last one was 89, luto pa yun.
Coach Shot, just a few fan favorites na hinahanap possibly for upcoming competitions. Calvin Abueva, Terence Romeo, CJ Perez, yung nakikita natin from the comics.
Yes, I personally talked to all of them to tell them that ready lang kayo. But yung mga ganun kasi, rini-reserve natin sila for the real thing na, for the yung matinding pang ano na, when we after we take a look at all the guys that we want to take a look at, then we're going to call on them because we know that, you know, we already know what they can do. We know their caliber. So but yes, I have personally talked to not only to Terence, CJ, even Calvin. Pag nakikita kami sa games, palagi kami nag-usap, and I know si Calvin ready yan palagi, just anytime.
Mago?
Maraming paulit-ulit na tanong itong si George Sablayan. Puro si Harris pa rin ang hinahanap nila, no? Na-discuss na ni Coach kanina, si Harris po magko-concentrate muna sa under 17 team. Doon muna siya mag-ensayo, doon sila lalaban dahil ngayong June na rin yung pagdating ng tournament nila.
Mag-overlap kasi yung schedule ng SEA Games with the FIBA Asia under 17. But again, we are still looking for him to crack the men's lineup maybe in the third window and hopefully even in the FIBA Asia Cup. But for now, our decision as a coaching staff is that it would be best for him to focus on the FIBA Asia under 17.
Sana nasagot yung tanong mo, Josiah Negrasa, and the rest of the guys asking about Harris. Carlo?
Paisa lang ako, sabi ni Christian Esguera Gregorio, dapat collegiate nilagay nyo dyan. Paano naman po nyo ilalagay yung collegiate dyan? Yung po mga kakalabas lang ng bubble, ilang buwan hindi nakakasama yung pamilya nila.
Yes.
Pabayaan nyo naman pong magpahinga. Yung iba naman, naglalaro pa. So, that's just the reality of where we are right now. I mean, yes, Coach Chot would be the first to tell you that napakarami nung mga batang players, Coach, na season through the Southeast Asian Games and FIBA tournaments. But it's just not a possibility right now.
Hindi talaga pwede. But I think for the next SEA Games, yan pwede na sila. Sa schedule ng UAP, pwede sila.
Which is
But
next
for
year.
now, uulitin ko po mga kababayan, gusto man natin yung mga college players, hindi talaga pwede. They're all in a bubble, they're still playing right now. Lahat ng collegiate players na gusto natin, naglalaro pa po. Aalis na po kami sa Biyernes. Naglalaro pa po sila eh. So, hindi talaga pwede.
Yun nga po na that's why sometimes it gets a little bit frustrating na yung mga request natin, wala talaga sa katotohanan, di ba? Hindi talaga pwedeng mangyari. So, nagiging paulit-ulit. But that is the explanation. And napaliwanag na rin ni Coach Chot all of the reasons why Harris and Dwight Ramos and Japet, even, sino pa man nakakalimutan? Si Robert Bolick, will not be able to play. Of course, we all wish that all of their, personal situations and their injuries, agad naman sila makarecover, Mago.
Coach, alam na ba natin sequence ng games? Hindi pa nagbubunutan yata, no?
Pa.
Wala pang bunutan. Pool ba tayo or was that 17 na lahat kakalabanin?
I have no idea. Wala pa kaming balita to.
Basta stay ready lang.
Yeah.
Just prepare for everyone. Ganun na lang siguro yung paplanuhin ni Coach Chot.
For everyone, yeah.
Speaking of preparation, singit lang natin yung sa professional side mo naman, Coach. Ito para sa Gilas, para sa Pilipinas, para sa bayan. Pero kaka-announce lang din kahapon, June 5 magbubukas na PBA. Kamusta naman yung TNT, Coach, yung preparations?
Well, nag-start na ang individual skills. Some of the players that we asked to come in early 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago, and then we after 2 weeks we had them take a break because now the whole team will resume tomorrow. So pa-practice kami ng Friday, Saturday, Sunday, be-break ng election, and then practice ulit because we want to maximize before I leave to get at least 6 or 7 practices. Pag alis ko, then we can then the assistant coaches will take over. I mean, speaking of the collegiate problem, Carlo, mismo si Coach Yuri Escueta at Sandy Arispacochaga na doon lang naka-bubble sa Ateneo
Hindi pa makapuntang Moro.
Hindi pa makapuntang Moro eh. Pinagbawal pa eh. Ganun kahigpit yung bubble eh. Kami, nagte-test kami. Ang Talk and Text, we test every day. Nag-antigen. But still, hindi pa rin pinagbawal pa rin. So, hindi talaga pwede. They're in a bubble.
Ako pa isa lang ako, coach. I don't think TNT has a first rounder in the upcoming draft, May 15. I don't think you have a
Wala ka
second.
pala dito, no, coach?
I don't think you have a second rounder either. So, is it something under your consideration to possibly, dream of
I
a
won't.
draft pick?
I will not be doing my job if we are not looking. But remember, we have a guy named JD Tungkab who will be in the lineup now, and we're looking at him as our first rounder. Kumbaga, siya yung first round pick namin for this conference. So JD has been practicing religiously twice a day, talk and text, and Gilas because he's part of the Gilas school, right? And so siya yung naka-backup namin in case nga magka-problema with Kevin, then JD will slide in as the back, as a replacement, hopefully.
So balik nyo, coach, late May na, and then
May 23,
maybe,
I think nandito na ulit kami.
so in a couple of weeks, magbubukas na ng defense mo ng Philippine Cup ng TNT naman, di ba?
Yes, diretso naman tayo sa preparasyon ng talk and text. We're all very excited. Everybody's healthy, knock on wood. And like I said, a lot of players took extra work, individual skills work, conditioning work for a couple of weeks, except for those who had to go and be with their families in the States, like si Kelly, Ryan Reyes, and si Mikey. Pero yung mga yon, I can see naman sa mga posts nila, they send me all of their workouts. So hopefully they're all keeping in shape as well.
Speaking of guys in the States, coach, eto hindi lang player, pati coach, hinahanap na ng mga Gilas faithful natin. Tinatanong ni JT Chio, has Jimmy been contacted to be involved in the Gilas Brain Trust? Jimmy's doing well then, di ba, sa D-League?
Doing very well. When I got back to talk and text, the first guy I called was Jimmy. But he really couldn't kasi kakapasok lang niya sa trabaho niya dun sa Sacramento, di ba? So he really had to focus on that first. But I'm sure Jimmy will make time. Ang problema is really schedules. But if Jimmy is available, he is most welcome to be part of the Gilas coaching staff.
Magum, may mga questions pa bang natitira? I think Coach Chot has answered a majority of the questions that were posted dun sa Facebook comment section, both on 2OT and Smart Sports. Coach, just before we let you go, I know it's always been a very emotional conversation between you and Gilas Pilipinas fans. Of course, it's all out of love for the Gilas Pilipinas program. Your message to the fans just before your team flies out to Vietnam for the Southeast Asian Games.
Yeah, I think my message hindi naman yan nagbabago eh. The only thing we can promise is that nobody's going to try harder than this team. We are honored and we sincerely love representing flag and country. And our only request is for you to continue supporting us. We're not perfect. We will make mistakes. But we hope that you understand that we're doing this for love of country and you continue praying and cheering for us. Because even if we're far away, ramdam namin kayo and we can hear you.
Mago?
Hopefully all goes well, Coach. Hopefully everybody stays healthy. And hopefully, Coach, madepensahan ulit natin yung SEA Games gold.
Hopefully. Sana.
And on that note, we will have to say goodnight to everyone. Maraming salamat, Coach CHOT Reyes, for joining us here on 2OT. Thank you to all of you who hung out with us. Ingat po kayong lahat. And most importantly, vote. Go out and vote this coming Monday. Siguraduhin nyo yan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong patuloy na pagsubaybay. This is 2OT on Smart Sports. Good night.